so much for waiting. Ladies and gentlemen everywhere, thank you guys for tuning in, tapping in to Cryptic Reasoning. I appreciate each and every single one of you. We're all human beings at the end of the day. We're all people. And what's crazy about this situation, guys? First of all, before I even go any further, condolences to anybody who's lost someone. Big up yourself, Thailand. Thank you so much for tapping in, Brody. Condolences to anybody in North Carolina. Anyone, I believe the name of the town was Asheville, what Barack Obama was talking about. He said hundreds of people lost their lives to the hurricane. To be completely honest with you, I was oblivious to that fact. Roxanne, how you doing, Roxanne? How are you? How are you doing? I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. I do appreciate you guys. Guys, make sure you're hitting a thumbs up on the video. But yeah, I would have did a stream earlier today, but you guys know, you got to work, right? So, amen. Well, thank you. Glad to have you here, Roxanne. I'm glad. You know, I see it, Thailand. I see you got a new picture, man. I see you updated your picture. Big up yourself on that. But yeah, the people that lost their lives in Asheville, and I spoke about it in depth, right? In several, including the one last night, right? I was actually talking about the people that, were affected by these hurricanes and how you shouldn't be using that as a manipulation tactic to win votes because people's lives were affected by it. People's lives are at stake. People's livelihoods, right? Their whole entire town, whole towns, whole cities were affected by this. People's homes will never be the same, right? So when they open their eyes, they look and they see where their houses were, where their lives were, where it used to be, right? Now, when it's all said and done, if you ever survive a tragedy like that, be grateful because it could have been worse, right? But I spoke about it in depth. I spoke about the character of this guy, Donald Trump, right? And his trumpet minions, the trumpets. We're going to call them the trumpets, right? Silly boys. That's that's a term that one of his minions came in here and used, right? Silly boys, right? We're going to call them the silly boys. Because they allow this individual to manipulate whatever brain cell they have, right? And notice singular, right? I only said brain cell. I didn't say brain cells, right? Because that's what it appears to be from the outside. Because how could you support someone who clearly doesn't give a crap about American citizens, right? Hit that like button. Big up yourself. Oh, that's my guy right there. I gotta make my dude. I gotta add him as a mod. I gotta add my guy as a mod. Big up yourself, my G. But yeah, you know, how could you actually really sit there and support someone who shows you that they don't care about the American people, that they're willing to use your pain as PR, they're willing to use your pain to win votes. That's all he cares about is votes. He just wants to get elected. It's just votes, right? That you're just a vote to him. You're just a number to him. The guy said, and I played it for you guys. You guys heard it, right? Yesterday, if you guys tapped in, you tuned in. Last night, I played it for you guys, right? Because Trump supporters, the extreme ones, right? Especially the extreme ones. Notice those are the guys that I'm really talking about. Whenever you do say something, whenever you provide evidence and you provide facts, right? They have little minions running around in their head and they'll make excuses as to why what it is that you're saying is invalid. They'll make an excuse for Trump, right? And then they'll just go on and on and on, right? Barack Obama epitomizes leadership, right? And now, he will get some criticism. Some people will criticize him. Oh, he didn't do enough for this community and that community. He didn't do enough for us. He didn't do enough for them. I get it, right? But please remember, he's only one person. And also, even though you're the president, You still have to go through Senate. You still have to go through Congress. You got to go through this. You got to go through that. There's a whole bunch of things that you have to go through in order to get things to pass, right? Now, Barack Obama, being the first African American, right? Being the first African American to become the president of the United States, I'm going to call it like it is. There's people around him that did not want him to succeed, right? But he broke down barriers, and now we have someone else that's there, and she's a female. She's going to be the first female president, right? She's the one that we're endorsing, and she's showing more leadership qualities than this man, right? Lying and manipulating, those are not masculine traits, right? A man is going to stand up for what he believes in. He's going to stand on what he believes in, right? And he's not going to be he's not going to be manipulative. He's not going to lie about things in order to get his way. That's not masculine. Those are not masculine traits. I remember someone came in here last night, right? And, they were like preaching this masculinity bullshit. Oh, your testosterone. Go check your testosterone if you're going to vote for this lady. Something along those lines. Some nonsense, right? Because he's endorsing his cult leader. That's precisely what it is. Today I heard something, guys. I heard something, and I wasn't shocked by this because I know that there are people out there that are very susceptible, right, to this sort of manipulation. They allow themselves to be manipulated this way, right? And I'm going to play this audio for you guys to really listen to, right? This is how tragic what he's doing is. These are the consequences of what it is that Donald Trump is doing, right? Donald Trump is going to sit there and he's going to tell you, oh, you're giving the money to the illegal immigrants. They're doing this, they're doing that, right? They're only giving you $750. But all he's doing is just telling lies upon lies upon lies, right? And there are people out there that actually believe him. And now, I want you guys to listen to the audio here, right? Because these are the consequences of his lies. It's affecting people. It's affecting their lives. And people are willing to risk their actual lives, right? They're willing to risk their lives for this man. Now, should I have sympathy for someone who's willing to risk their own life for someone like Donald Trump? It's very difficult. I'm going to be honest with you, right? Because a part of me wants to say, I'm not going to say what it is that a part of me wants to say. But anyway, I'm going to play the audio. You guys listen to what it is that this person actually said, okay?
Because he's a hardcore Trumper, and he literally believes that if he accepts anything from FEMA, they're going to take his house. I don't understand how so many people are under the spell of this freaking con man. I don't understand it.
Well, it's absolutely heartbreaking about your father-in-law. I'm so sorry to hear it. I hope.
And it's hard to even imagine it. I mean, he lost almost everything, and he's refusing all help from the federal government and complaining to us that he doesn't have food, that he doesn't have the stuff he needs, and yet he won't accept the help. What the hell are we supposed to do? We're not in a position to be able to fly across the country and help him. Yeah. There's people begging us to get him to accept help, and he won't do it.
Wow.
And I guarantee you, I'm not the only one. I guarantee you, I'm not the only one.
I wish there was something I could say as to, I don't know. Does he have access to any electronics where you could send him some information debunking this? And he might.
We've done all of that. We've done all of that. We've sent him all the FEMA bulletins. We've sent him all the stuff from the fact checkers. He doesn't believe it. He thinks he just believes Trump. Literally, Dan. It's a cult. He's a cult member. I'm sorry to say it. He's a cult member. And he's my father-in-law, and it sucks.
2%. They should be much higher than that,
but you guys heard it yourself, right? You heard it yourself. This guy, and as much as I want to give him my sympathy, as much as I really do, it's one of those things where I just gotta wipe my hands clean. If somebody that I knew was doing that bullshit, to be completely honest with you, okay, I'm not gonna try to force you. I'm not gonna try to convince you otherwise. But don't call my phone asking me for help, because I already told you what to do. Right? So that's my way of holding you accountable for that. Father-in-law, no father-in-law, father without law, father after law, stepfather. I don't care what it is. Right? To be completely honest with you. Because you're telling me, right, that you have the opportunity to get help after you've been devastated by this hurricane, especially in your elder years, right? And you're becoming a burden to your wife's husband, to his family, right? Affecting the marriage of your wife because you're stupid. I don't know how else to put it, guys, so I gotta be blunt about this, right? I don't know how else to put it. I gotta be blunt about this. So you mean to tell me that the lies, and the crazy part about it is this. This is the crazy part about this. Every interview, right? Every time he does a rally, every time he speaks, right? You have to question what comes out of Donald Trump's mouth. He has a track record of being not only inaccurate, but just being a pure liar. Right? He has the track record of doing it. This is what he does. Yet here you are, right? You're so goddamn gullible. And if you're gullible in your 60s and 70s, right? I don't know what to tell you, sir. I don't know what to tell you at this point. Right? Because here we are, we're telling you, hey, no, listen, they're trying to help you. All of the tax money that you've been paying, all of the stuff that you've been doing over the years, they're trying to help you. This is what it's for. This is what these things are for, so that they help you in the time of need. But oh, you don't like it because a Democrat's giving it to you. You don't like it because Trump tells you not to like it. Now, a part of me wants to sympathize with them, but I gotta be honest with you. There's a big part of me that does not give a crap at this point. There's a big part of me that's like, well, hold on, hold on. I led you to the lake, right? By giving you this information, right? To show you that, hey, sir, listen, you can get help. All of the things that you've lost, listen, you can get help. They'll help you get it back. All you have to do is accept it. No. Hey, John, can you send me $150? I need to get some groceries. Hey, John, can I stay at your house this weekend? I need a place to stay. Hey, John, can you leave from California and come over here and drive me to Bingo? What? Listen, when it comes to family, I'm all for family and family values and all of that sort of stuff, right? But I ain't the type of person that's going to force you to do nothing, right? So if I'm speaking to you logically, right? And we're reasoning, we're putting the things out on the table, right? We're putting everything out on the table and we're saying, hey, listen, this is how we could accomplish these things. This is how we could tackle it. This is how we could take care of the things that's going on with you. It's very easy. It's very simple. All you got to do is this, and this. And you say no. All right, okay, cool. I have to assume that you have it figured out, right? Because we already sat there and we showed you the steps that you got to take in order to get the help that you need. But you decided you're not going to do that. Because your cult leader is telling you not to do that. I don't understand how in 2024 we even have this person actually running for president, right? It speaks volumes, right, of where we are as a collective consciousness, the collective consciousness of America. It speaks volumes of where we are. And even if you're not endorsing him, it speaks volumes that out of everyone that's in this country, this is the person that's representing the other party. It speaks volumes. And you know what the rest of the world is looking at us like? They're looking at us like we're clowns right now. They're looking at us like this. Because this is what we have representing us on the world stage. And trust and believe, the entire world is watching. The revolution is being televised, right? The same guy that orchestrated what took place on January 6th, allegedly. Thrifty Simplicity's in the house. How you doing? Sarah's in the house. Oh my God, we got a full house, right? That's all I need. We got Sarah, we got Roxanne, we got Thrifty Simplicity. Chantel Smith is back. Big up yourselves. Big ups to everybody that has come back to the chat. I sincerely do appreciate you guys. Make sure that you're liking the video and also subscribing if you're new. But I want to move on from that situation right there, right? We've already spoken about it, right? We see how dangerous this narrative is. We see how dangerous it is for you to get there, for you to go on stage and just lie, right? This is your tactic, right? When you don't have anything else, what are you going to do? You're going to lie. And this is what people are saying. This is strength. This is masculinity. That's a man? In what world? In what world? Right? You guys delude yourself. At this point, we can't even blame him anymore because we see him for what he is. We can't even blame him no more because the entire world sees it's transparent. It's clear as day what it is that we have representing the Republican Party up there. It's clear as day, right? So you guys can see it, but you choose to delude yourself. You choose to see something else. Right? How can we help you? So, I know you guys have heard what I've said about the hurricane response, right? If you guys have been tapping in and listening to what it is that I'm saying, I sat up here yesterday and I spoke about it, right? Here we have a candidate, a presidential candidate, might I add, right? He wants to represent the entire country. So surely the guy that's representing the Republican Party, right, who has the resources, might I add, right, billions and billions of dollars. He's made many millions and millions of dollars, right, who has the resources just by himself, has the resources to help the people of North Carolina, who has the resources to help the people in Florida, who has the resources to organize, right? To organize with all the following, with all the billionaires that he has in his corner. Let's organize something. Let's do a fundraiser. Let's go there and let's help the people that are over there in North Carolina that need help. If you really, deep within your heart, think those people need help and you don't help them, that speaks volumes of who you are. Straight up and down. I don't know how else to put it. I'm not trying to preach. I got to be honest with you guys. I'm not up here trying to preach. Right? But if you got the resources, if you're a billionaire and you're running for president and you look and you say to yourself, man, that party ain't over there. They not doing nothing. Even though it's a lie, even though it's cap, even though he's capping, he's saying, they're not doing enough for the people, but those are my people. So you know what? I got the resources. Let me allocate some of the resources over there to help them. It's going to be a tax write-off. It is what it is. We did what we did to have to help the people. Cost you nothing to do that, pretty much. It's a write-off. You get your little buddies, you come up, you raise billions and billions. It's nothing to you. You get your comrades. You got Elon Musk jumping on stage like he's a hot chicken, right? Like he's Tom Cruise on Oprah Winfrey's couch or something, right? You got him spinning on stage I don't even want to say what I'm about to say, right? But you guys could read between the lines, right? Up there spinning on stage. Well, go help the people in North Carolina then. Go help the people in Florida that's affected by the last hurricane then. But you know what? No, I got a better idea. This is what goes on in his head. How about we make some shit up? How about we say that they don't have any money, that the money that they have, they're giving it to illegal immigrants to create further division in the country, further hatred in the country, right? To keep that narrative going. And this is the guy who you got representing you. Him? That dude? He could never get my vote. And I'll stand by that. Right? The country's doomed if that's the candidate that we have representing. I'd never want to see that guy nowhere near a presidential election ever again, to be completely honest with you. Honestly, I mean that. If he goes on stage and he puts on his clown nose and he gets himself some shoes, right? And make sure he gets the makeup right? Like how he had the makeup on the debate and you could see right through his makeup. What do they call that stuff that they put on, right? I would pay to go watch that clown show. I gotta be completely honest with you. I would pay to go sit there in the crowd and point and laugh. Look at this clown. This guy's an actual clown. He's a brilliant. Trust me when I tell you guys, I did say this before. I said it, and I just got to speak honestly. I got to be honest, and I got to be open about this, right? I have to be honest and open about this, right? I said this before. Donald Trump would go down as the best clown in history, the greatest clown to ever do it. Ronald McDonald. Ronald who? Sweet Tooth from what's that video game name? Twisted Metal. We wouldn't even recognize these guys anymore, right? Because Donald Trump would really take the cake. I would pay to watch that as an adult. I gotta be honest with you. I would. As a president, no. No way. The juvenile things that comes out of his mouth, right? And I'm not gonna sit up here. Look, when you're in college, when you're a kid, you're in high school, you say shit, right? When you're in your 20s, you say things, you know what I mean? You say some boneheaded shit, right? When you're running for the presidency of the United States, you have to represent yourself with a level of elegance, right? With a level of class, right? You have to show these leadership qualities, right? You have to be a person of the people. You can't be a person of just of yourself. You got to be truthful. There has to be something, right, that inspires you to speak the truth. But anyway, I think I've said enough where that's regarded, right? Barack Obama actually had a few things that he had to say as well. And, this is CNN, right? CNN, I believe CNN covered this. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah. I'm going to play the audio from what Barack Obama had to say. A real leader, a true leader, right? A real man of class and dignity and honor. I'm going to play what he had to say about Donald Trump.
Spent time there. Amazing people. Devastated. Hundreds of people killed. And President Biden and Vice President Harris were down there meeting with local officials and comforting families, asking how they could help. And Donald Trump at a rally just started making up stories about the Biden administration withholding aid from Republican areas and siphoning off aid to give to undocumented immigrants. Just made the stuff up. Everybody knew it wasn't true. Even local Republicans said it was not true. And now the people of Florida are dealing with another devastating storm. And I want you to watch what happens over the next few days, just like the last time. You're going to have leaders who try to help, and then you have a guy who will just lie about it to score political points, and this has consequences. Because people are afraid, and they've lost everything, and now they're trying to figure out how do I apply for help? And some of them may be discouraged from getting the help they need. The idea of intentionally trying to deceive people in their most desperate and vulnerable moments. And my question is, when did that become okay? I'm not looking for applause right now. I want to ask Republicans out there, people who are conservative, who didn't vote for me, who didn't agree with me. I had friends who disagreed with me on every issue. When did that become okay? Why would we go along with that? I mean, if your coworkers acted like that, they wouldn't be your coworkers very long. If you're in business and somebody you're doing business with just outright lies and manipulates, you stop doing business with them. Even if you had a family member who acted like that, you might still love them, but you tell them you got a problem.
I'll just cut you off.
You wouldn't put him in charge of anything. And yet,
to be honest with you,
Donald Trump
I'm just being honest.
lies or cheats or shows utter disregard for our Constitution when he calls POWs losers or fellow citizens vermin. People make excuses for it. They think it's okay. They think, well, at least he's owning the libs. He's really sticking it to them. It's okay as long as our side wins. And by the way, I'm sorry, gentlemen. I've noticed this especially with some men who seem to think Trump's behavior, the bullying and the putting people down, is a sign of strength. And
Obama's saying this, not me.
That is not what real strength is. It never has been. Real strength is about working hard and carrying a heavy load without complaining. Real strength is about taking responsibility for your actions and telling the truth even when it's inconvenient. Real strength is about helping people who need it and standing up for those who can't always stand up for themselves. That is what we should want for our daughters and for our sons, and that is what I want to see in a president of the United States of America.
You see that? That's a president right there. That's a president right there.
And the good news is that you have candidates to vote for in this election that demonstrate that kind of character. Who know what real strength looks like. Who will set a good example and do the right thing and leave this country better than they found it.
Who?
Pennsylvania, that is the choice in this election.
Who's the choice?
It's not just about policies that are on the ballot. It is about values. And it is about character. So whether this election is making you feel excited or scared or hopeful or frustrated or anything in between, do not just sit back and hope for the best. Get off your couch.
Get off your ass and vote.
Put down your phone and vote.
That's right.
Grab your friends and family and vote.
And vote.
Vote for Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States. Vote for Bob Casey and this whole incredible Pennsylvania Democratic ticket.
That's right.
Help your friends and family members and neighbors and co-workers do the same. Because if enough of us make our voices heard, we will leave no doubt about the election outcome. We'll leave no doubt about who we are and what America stands for. And together we'll keep building a country that's more fair and more equal and more just and more free. That is our task. That is our responsibility. Let's go do it. Thank you, Pittsburgh. Pennsylvania. Let's go.
Man, I want to go vote right now. You see? You see the difference? You see the difference in character? You see what a real man represents? If you don't know what a real man is, right? If you feel like you look in the mirror and you think you're a real man because you grow a beard, or you think you're a real man because you might be tall, right? Or whatever it is, right? You see those characteristics, you see that character. You see how he stands there on stage, and you see how he commands respect. You see how he tells them, hey, listen, it's not about applause right now. Right now, it's not about applause. I want you to hear out what I have to say. Listen to what it is that I have to say, because this is important. I'm not saying this, right, for you to sit there and cheer and clap and woo. No, this isn't that. Right? I'm saying this because I want you to go and take action. Right? Those same people that feel like they're going to sit up here and go vote for Trump, those are the same people that are going to be complaining. Right? If you sit back and you decide you're not going to vote, right? And somehow, I don't even want to say the God forbid, right? Who do you have to blame? Who can you blame? If something happens in the country, right? We have another George Floyd situation, or we have another peaceful protest, and then we have the guy, and this time he actually succeeds in sending in the National Guards. Right? What happens then? Who are you going to complain to at that point? What happens at the next hurricane that happens in his regime? And he gets up there, a billionaire, right? And he takes napkins. He rolls up some napkins, right? Rolls up some napkins and he just throws it at you. What are you going to do then? Thank you so much. Oh, this napkin was touched by Donald Trump. Huh? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to sit there and clap. You're going to rejoice. Right? Because he threw some napkins at you. The billionaire president threw napkins at you. Right? Wake up. This guy's a joke. He's an absolute clown. I got to be completely honest with you. Right? He's a clown. Can't take accountability. If he loses, oh, it wasn't fair. Right? Kamala Harris had him up there on stage. Right? And gave him a verbal assault, right? And I'm speaking figuratively. Like she didn't literally verbally assault him, but the way she conducted herself during that debate, right? The way she answered the questions, the way you saw that she had complete control over the entire situation, and he didn't. The only thing that was noteworthy that he said that night is this. I kid you not. Go back and watch the debate. This is the most impactful thing that he said, and it was crap. It was a lie, right? On that debate stage. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Huh? And then he has this little minion, right? This little minion, J.D. Vance, sold his goddamn soul, right? Sold his goddamn soul. The same guy that just a few years ago, just a number of years ago, right? He sat up there and he said, compared Trump to Hitler, right? He was saying Trump is like Hitler, right? And now all of a sudden, that's his running mate. They're best friends. They're buddy. And all of the things that he criticized him for in the past, all of a sudden, he's been baptized in the name of his new leader. Right? And this is the guy you want to support? I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. If I'm around someone and they tell me that, and I'm not the most. I'm not. You know what I mean? People are people. People are gonna think different. Everyone's not gonna think the same, and I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that, right? But if someone comes up to me and we're having a conversation and they mention MAGA and they mention how they're a Trump supporter, listen, I got to keep my distance. We don't have much in common. I already see right there where your ideology is. Because for you to sit up there and listen to the bullshit that this man is saying, and for you to internalize that, and for you to somehow use that as inspiration, even though the guy sat up there and said he's better looking than Kamala Harris. This is how delusional this guy is, right? This guy actually sat up there. And this isn't, look, forget about looks. Looks ain't really, that's not what we were voting for a president about, right? But this is how delulu this guy is. Man sat up there and how he's so better looking, and he's better looking than Kamala. Check his coffee. Honestly, check his coffee. Because there's not a person alive, woman, man, that thinks Trump is better looking than Kamala Harris. There's nobody alive that would ever say that. Right? But this is how delulu this guy is. Right? And I kind of just said that for humor. Right? But and he didn't just say that to be funny. He's not the type that he just says these things, right? Even though they're not true, he says it because he'll get away with saying these things. Went on a podcast yesterday, Andrew Schultz podcast. Went on Andrew Schultz I forgot the name of the podcast, but I do remember Andrew Schultz from like Brilliant Idiots and, you know, other things that he's done in the past. You know, him and Charlemagne were always like together, hanging out and all that sort of stuff. But I don't follow their podcast much, but I do know that this is a big look that he did get a former president on his platform. That's a huge look, right? Regardless of how it is that I feel about him, I'm objective enough to admit that's a big look, right? But he sat up there and he says, honestly, I think I'm a truthful person. I shit you not, guys. I'm not capping. I swear I'm not capping. I swear I'm not. If I could find it, I'm not going to look for it if I can't find it, but if I could find it, I did play the audio. If not, you guys can go ahead and go look for it yourself. But he sat up there and he said that he thinks he's a truthful person. And you know what Andrew Schultz did? And by the way, Schultz is actually a Trump supporter. The guy could not stop laughing. He laughed hysterically, right? And what it sounded like he was saying, go back and watch it for yourself. He was like, what does that even mean? Right? Because clearly Schultz recognizes that the person that he supports, yet he still supports him, right? That the person that he supports is not an honest person. Clear as day. Right? We're going to move on a little bit because not only did Barack Obama, the former president, two-time president of the United States, back to back, right? He did the back to back trip to the White House. Hey, Nevaeh, what's going on, Nevaeh? How you doing, sweetheart? Big up yourself. We got a full house in here tonight, guys. I appreciate everybody who has been supporting. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing because you know you love the content, right? And it really does help the algorithm. You know, I got a lot of people in here. Sometimes I see people in here and, you know, they sit and they complain and they subscribe anyway. They subscribe anyway. They sit here, they complain, and they subscribe so they could come back tomorrow and complain even more, right? Had one idiot follow me all the way over to Instagram while I was live, right? To tell me how much he hated my live. Right? Bro, listen, man. If you appreciate the content, you appreciate the content. You know that what we're saying is nothing but facts. But yeah, we're going to get into the next part of the segment right now. We're going to get into, all right, so MSNBC, right? This is my source of where it is that I found this. And this is going to be a little bit shorter, right? But this is Joe Biden, right? And now, I have my criticisms of Joe Biden. I have my criticisms of how both his administration and Trump's administration handled the COVID-19 situation, right? I don't think those vaccines should have been mandated. It screwed a lot of people over. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think they should have been mandated. However, that did happen, right? That did happen under his watch. There are a number of different things that we could kind of talk about. No president's perfect, so I'm not going to really, put him in the hot seat. But I heard Joe Biden today, man. I heard him today and I heard him speak. And I sat there because I saw that he sort of had like a cognitive decline, right? You could kind of tell that there was something kind of going on there with Joe Biden. Hence why he had to just decide, hey, listen, I'm not going to be able to run for the next for the presidential election. I'm getting up there in age. I probably won't be doing the best job if I did, right? So hence why we get Kamala Harris, who's younger, fresher, smarter. You know what I mean? She's got a lot going for her, right? But Joe Biden had his perspective. We're just gonna say that for lack of a better term, right? On what it is that's been happening in regards to your uncle, you guys' favorite uncle, Uncle Dump, Donald Dump, or should we say Donald Trump? He's over here calling people Tampon Tim, so it's okay for us to give him a nickname.
To civilian authorities. And that apparently is going very well as from the Coast Guard and from FEMA we've received reports. We focused on what the American military can do like no one else can, provide emergency support for communities in need, and we're required by the governor in required by the governor in the affected states. I've spoken to all the governors, not today all of them, but I've spoken to all of them thus far, and how we can be ready to go in an instant when the call comes. At my direction, the Defense Secretary Austin has provided a range of capabilities both to Florida for Hurricane Milton, as well as the states impacted by Hurricane Helene. And the more capabilities are available, we assess the pressing needs, we can get whatever they need. To the servicemen and women who are on the ground responding to these disasters, thank you. Thank you for your professionalism, your dedication to every mission you're given. You're repeating it again. This is a whole of government effort. It also includes the Department of Energy, Department of Transportation, Department of Health and Human Services, and the Department of Housing and Urban Development, which is providing mortgage relief for impacted homeowners. As directed, FEMA is going to open disaster recovery centers all across the impacted communities right away.
Right away.
So there's one stop the residents can go to learn about the support they might need. And that will be advertised where those places are.
Right away.
3 million people are without power, but more than 40 million power line workers have come from around the country, from Canada to Florida, to restore power across the state. In addition, the Federal Aviation has authorized Florida Power and Light to fly large drones before other manned aircraft can get up in the sky to quickly assess the damage on the ground so ground crews can restore power as quickly as possible. The Coast Guard and the Army Corps of Engineers are assessing how fast they can reopen the port of Tampa to get fuel, food, water, and other basic goods flowing into the area again and quickly. Additionally, Vice President Harris and I said yesterday, and we'll say it again, to anyone who seeks to take advantage of our fellow Americans' desperation, whether you're a company engaging in price gouging or a citizen trying to scam your neighbors, we will go after you and we will hold you accountable. Now, not only that, our fellow Americans are putting their lives on the line to do this dangerous work and receive death penalties. Some received death penalties yesterday as a result of reckless, irresponsible, relentless disinformation and outright lies that continue to flow. Those who engage in such lies are undermining confidence in the rescue and recovery work that's opening and ongoing. As I speak, they're continuing. These lies are also harmful to those who most need help. Lives are on the line. People are in desperate situations. Have the decency to tell them the truth. So let me say this. To all the people impacted by Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton, despite the misinformation and lies, the truth is we're providing the resources needed to rescue, recover, and rebuild. Let me close with this. I know recovery and rebuilding projects can take a long and difficult time, but as long after the press and the cameras move on, I promise you, or you have to pick up the pieces still, I want you to know we'll do everything in our power to help you put pieces back together and get all that you need. But God bless you, and may God bless our troops and our first responders who are in some cases risking their lives to help. Thank you very much. I'll be reporting again tomorrow. Thank you.
Mr. President, on FEMA funding,
He was about to leave, guys. Right here, he was actually turning away to leave, right? But he stayed to answer some more questions.
How much time does Congress have to act before FEMA or the SBA run out of money?
That's in discussion now. I don't want to give you mislead you. I think in terms of the SBA, it's pretty right at the edge right now. And I think the Congress should be coming back and moving on the emergency needs immediately. And they're going to have to come back after the election as well, because this is going to be a long haul for total rebuilding. It's going to take several $1 billion. It's not going to be a matter of just a little bit. But we're providing now to make sure people have the emergency relief they need. The dollars just to be able to get a prescription filled, to get a baby formula done. All the things, that $750 that they're talking about, but Mr. Trump and all those other people know it's a lie to suggest that's all they're going to get. That's bizarre.
You hear that?
It's bizarre.
It's a
We
lie.
got to stop this. They're being so damn un-American with the way they're talking about this stuff. But there's going to be a need for significant amounts of money. We're already underway at trying to calculate what the cost will be, because we don't want to mislead anybody.
Right.
We want to make sure all the costs are able to be covered.
You hear that?
Spoken to Speaker Johnson about coming back before the election to vote?
No, I haven't.
Mr. President, so are you calling on Congress to come back early?
I think Congress should move as rapidly as they can, particularly on the most immediate need, which is small business.
But the Vice President said yesterday that FEMA has what it needs. There's enough resources. That Congress does not need to come back right away.
FEMA has its needs. That's different than SBA.
Okay, so it's SBA. They need to come back and do SBA.
Yeah, but they're going to need a lot more.
Mr. President, what did Prime Minister Netanyahu tell you about his plans relating to retaliation?
He's coming over to help with a storm.
Mr. President, have you spoken before with President Trump at all?
Are you kidding me?
Listen to this part. Listen to this part.
Mr. President Trump, former President Trump, get a life, man. Help these people.
You said you were going to hold those accountable.
Public will hold them accountable. You better than the press hold them accountable, because you know the truth.
Will you plan to speak with former President Trump?
No.
Get a life, man. Get a life, man. Classic Joe Biden right there. But yeah, so, we criticize them, the president, whoever's sitting in office, whenever they're wrong. We'll criticize them, right, whenever they aren't doing the right thing, right, for lack of a better term. But when they are doing the right thing, right, when they are helping people that actually need to be helped, why don't we give them their flowers? Why don't we say thank you? Why don't we encourage them? I think everybody, as an entire nation, should be getting behind this effort to help these people, right? Because these people are not political puppets. That's not what they are. These are human beings. So I tell you what, because I think someone did actually say something in the chat like they're raising money. I guarantee you, right? If there are Democrats or people that didn't vote for Trump, I guarantee you if he was helping anyone, he wouldn't help those people that didn't vote for him. He wouldn't help those people that ain't voting for him. He just wouldn't. That's the character of who it is that we're talking about. Right? It's all about votes. It's all about power. Right? Butcher says you're so paid. Paid by whom, Butcher? Paid by the truth? Hey, Future had this one song, guys. Future had this one song. This is back in the day. It's an old song. It was off the album Pluto, right? And what's crazy about this is that the song came out probably like 12 years ago, something crazy like that. But it's definitely one of my favorite Future songs, right? Early Future. I haven't really listened to Future in years and years and years, but early Future for sure. But the name of the song is "The Truth Gon' Hurt You." Ooh, 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 the truth gon' hurt you. If you haven't heard that song, go listen to it. And the truth is, I'm not getting paid. There's no one paying me to say these things. I look at the country. I see two candidates. I see one candidate. He wants to march and make a complete ass of himself. Right? He likes the theatrics. He likes to parade himself like a moron, like a clown. Right? He likes to lie. He likes to gaslight. He likes to play on people's fear. Right? He likes to target immigrants. He likes to be hateful. He inspires people to be hateful towards other people. He inspires people to demonize other people. Right? We have a guy who supposed to be an expert negotiator, but his way of negotiating to tell people that, hey, listen, if they decide that they want to secede, not secede from the Union, but secede from using the reserve currency, that's the United States reserve currency, that what he's going to do is he's going to charge them 100% tariff. So his way of negotiating is to threaten. He thinks he's just going to bully entire nations. He's going to bully countries into submission. When we actually have competitors now. So instead of him negotiating and saying, hey, listen, I realize that you guys need help in agriculture. We can provide you with the resources. You guys need help in technology. We can provide you with the resources. But hey, here's the deal. If we provide you with the best resources the world has to offer, all you have to do is make sure the reserve currency for your country is our country, is our currency for the next 100 years. Or whatever, right? You put the number in. A 12-year-old could have said that. A 12-year-old could look at this and see that this guy, he reasons on a kindergarten level. Right? He appeals to the most emotional and primal aspects of the human being. He doesn't appeal to the thinking man. He doesn't appeal to the thinking woman. He doesn't appeal to someone who wants the best for the country. He appeals to people who want a little ego stroke every now and then. Yeah, MAGA. How about we make America better than it's ever been before? It's not about going back into the past. We're past the past. There ain't no going back. Can you imagine? They're running backwards. They're trying to go backwards into the past. Imagine that. They're literally racing against time. Time is moving forward, and you guys are going to get left behind. And it's really concerning. We played the audio earlier in the night. We played the audio about the elderly gentleman who was someone's father-in-law. The son-in-law actually called in and was letting everyone know that his father-in-law refuses to accept help, right? Because he's under mind control. Because his father-in-law can't think for himself. And I think he should stop calling him father-in-law. He should just call him Bob or something, right? Or call him in-law. Nothing fatherly about that. Right? And I really want to be empathetic to him, but I can't. Because he's doing this to himself. He's refusing to get help. Right? Because he doesn't like the people that are helping him. Because he would rather get help from Trump. Or did Trump reach out to him and give him $1 million and build his house back yet? He didn't. I guarantee it didn't. I guarantee he won't. But the people who are actually trying to help him, he refuses to get help from those people. I'm going to get in the chat. I'm probably going to hang around for another 10 minutes. I feel like we had a really, really great discussion tonight. I feel like we had a brilliant podcast. And what's crazy is I wanted to do 2 today, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to do 2. Let me just focus on what it is that I'm doing. And then later on, we're just going to go all in, right? We're just going to gradually work our way in. And I know, thank you to moderators. Big up yourselves, by the way. I did see some messages being deleted while the thing was going on, but I wasn't reading any messages. And yes, to anyone who thinks this is pre-recorded, it is now Friday, October 11th, and it's 4 minutes past midnight. Right? So that's the current time. So yeah, it's one of those things. I didn't read the chat, right? We got a show to do. Make sure you guys are actually liking the video as well. You guys stayed around this long. Some of you anyway. A good portion of you anyway. And we've risen significantly in terms of the subscribers. So that's a brilliant thing, and thank everyone for that. Let's see what it is that they're saying. They complain just like their God, says Just the Facts. Big up yourself, Just the Facts. And you're absolutely right about that. All he does is walk around and complain and complain and lie and complain and lie and complain. Can you imagine that's all you do in your life? You wake up every day and that's what you do? You lie and you complain? How in the hell can you ever fix anything by lying and complaining? How can you fix something, right? If I tell you, or if we all decide that, oh, I don't know. Let me see, what can I, oh, okay, boom. If we all decide that this is a water bottle, right? Everyone decides it's a water bottle. And he sees it and he decides, no, that's not a water bottle. That's a bottle of liquor, right? He decides that this is a bottle that houses liquor and it's not a water bottle, right? We see it as what we see it and what we know it as, but he sees it in his world as something completely different than what everyone else agrees that it is. And then he has enablers, right, that are enabling him to convince them that they don't see a water bottle in front of their goddamn face. I'm going to actually, pardon me, water. I do apologize. You gotta be gentle with the water, right? You gotta watch what you say around your water as well. But that's for another thing. Oh, there's actually one other thing that I want to do before I leave. As a matter of fact, I forgot to do this. As a matter of fact, no. I'm not gonna do it tonight, but I'll do it tomorrow. When we do another one of these episodes. But Anime actually sent me an article in, and I do want to implement that into the actual one of the live streams that we're gonna do. So tomorrow we're going to do that. I didn't read it yet because I wanted us all to kind of read it together. And it was something having to do with his niece, right? So I'm going to sit there and I'm going to read the article. But I appreciate Anime for sending it in. Guys, if you do want to send in something, you can comment under the video. Or you can actually, hit me up on the gram. Keep it respectful. You understand what I'm saying? It is what it is, right? Pat Flately says never camel toe. I don't know what camel toe he's talking about. But if that's what you want to call it, right? We're not gonna vote for Donald Trump. So there you have it, right? Two can play that game, and I'm completely detached from the outcome. So it is what it is. So what more has a ring to it? Chump, dump, right? Or camel toe. Camel toe, is that like supposed to be like funny or clever? Like what's that? That's the nickname? Like how you have Tampon Tim? I bet you're like camel toe. That'll get her. Stupid. Yeah, I'm not saying you're stupid, but that comment is actually stupid. So, yeah, there's that. January 6th, case closed, says Matthew Pepper. What do you mean by that? Because there's 150 pages and more to come. So yeah, I don't know what it is that you're saying, to be honest with you. Someone says Kamala is not smart. I tell you what, she's definitely smarter than Trump. I tell you that much. I tell you, don't underestimate someone who came from absolutely nothing, right? And became the next president, who's going to become the next president, but became the vice president, right? Let's speak in current tense. The vice president of the United States as a female, right? It's never been done before, right? Never been done before. Can't underestimate somebody that's like that. And the haters, they've said a lot of very despicable things, right? Because the hatred, they can't see, they can't fathom how this black lady, right, mixed with Indian, actually succeeded in becoming the vice president of America. So they make up their lies and their excuses, right? But this is what you expect from them, right? So Dylan, yeah, Trump's not smart. Someone says no, he got pushed out. He got pushed out of what? What did he get pushed out of? Ready? What did he get pushed out of? He didn't get pushed out of nothing. What did he get pushed out of? He got voted out, if that's what you're talking about. He got voted out. He don't even have a year in the platform and think he know all this 4 years, like for real. Says Cutting Edge. Huh? I don't know what that is. I know what you're saying. The bleach thing, really, bro? Read a paper that was not true. I think these guys are actually talking to one another. That, you know, we're going to get to the point where it's like we're just going to do the show and we're not going to get too indulged into the chat and what it is that's going on. But I want to say big up to all the mods and everyone that's been looking out. Sarah, appreciate you. I'm going to go all the way down to the edge, to the end, to see what it is that's happening. I appreciate you, Sarah. Thank you so much for all the help that you do. That is our Secretary of Defense. And Sarah, she's so valuable to us. You know, and big up to Thrifty Simplicity. Big up to Roxanne. Big ups to everyone that's in the chat. The good, the bad, the ugly, the pretty. I really do appreciate you guys. And I appreciate us being able to have this open and honest dialogue. Us being able to speak these things, right, that we actually believe. Provided we don't have any of these bots, right, that pop up every now and then. But I appreciated this. This was a great live stream. Thank you guys so much for tapping in and tuning in. Make sure you guys are subscribing, and on your way out, please hit the like button. And guys, be kind to yourself. We're all going to go out there. We're going to vote. We're going to make sure we cast our vote for the right candidate because we actually do care about the country. And we don't want someone who says that he's going to be a dictator to ruin the country, right? So make sure you guys are registering to vote. Make sure you guys are going out there and you're casting the vote. Make sure you guys are doing everything that you can that's possible because your vote absolutely matters. Each and every single one of your votes matters. So make sure you go there and you have your say, okay? And the country will thank you for it. It'll be a better place, and you had a big part to play in that. And beyond that, guys, on a human level, take good care of yourself. Stay hydrated. Meditate. Do what you need to do for your mental health. Love yourself. Care for your loved ones. Big up yourselves. This is another episode of Cryptic Reasoning, and I thank each and every single one of you. The show would be absolutely nothing without you. Take care. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.